Welcome to the Neo operational video series for software version 3.8. These videos are designed for targeted instruction to get you up to speed quickly and simply. This video targets QLink, loop, and fallout. Now, while we are using the bulk of the 3.7 video for this, I want to talk about a couple of things that have changed in 3.8, and that's the sidebar formatting. There is an option in display options to say use compact view for sidebar, which will take you closer to the style and size of fonts in 3.7. But notice that the flags for things like block cues and fixture timing have been moved so that they are right justified. So I'm going to go back to the non-compact view. Just understand that that will be slightly different in the remaining part of the video. So what I mean with link, loop, and fallout is QLink will allow you to link one queue to another queue. Now, we know by default queues will go in numerical sequence, so there's no reason to link Q1 to Q2 or Q2 to Q3 because those will fire automatically. You could say they're sort of linked automatically. So linking is when you need to go out of sequence. Now, loop is where you determine how many times, if you're using link to go back to an earlier number sequence, so you're sort of linking back to an earlier queue, loop will determine how many times this will loop through that linked sequence. And fallout determines the queue that once the operator hits go while it's in the middle of the loop, what queue it will fall out to. So let's just look at a simple example of link. So I have 10 queues pre-built. I just simply did channel 1 at full, record Q1, channel 2 at full, record Q2, and followed that format for 10 queues just to give us something for the instruction. So now what I'm going to do is link Q3 to Q5. So I'm going to say Q3 shift follow, which will put link on the command line, 5 enter. And now we see Q3 links to Q5. So I'm going to say go to 2 enter, and we're going to hit go, and that's going to run Q3. And from here I'll hit go, and we can see that that runs Q5. Okay, so pretty basic. Pretty simple. So let's look at getting rid of that link. So I'm going to say Q3 shift follow for link enter. Again, the old at enter, or in this case, since we want to get rid of a link, at link enter to get rid of that. And that's all that was. That was just linking around. This can often be used if you want to skip a queue to see how the sequence is going to look before you commit to deleting the queue. So now let's go a little further, and let's say we want to look at link, loop, and fallout. So this would be a situation where we're going to say we want to hit go for Q3. We'll want it to run Q3, then run Q4, then run Q5, and then go back to Q3 and run through the loop again. And we'll just leave it at an infinite number of loops. So what I'm going to do is say Q3 through 5 follow enter. The reason why I'm making these auto follow queues is that we need the follow command in order to automatically run the next queue. So link by itself won't take care of this. And now I'm going to say Q5 shift follow for link 3 enter. And now what I'm going to do is hit go, and it's going to run Q3, and then it's going to run Q4, and then Q5. And because I simply provided the auto follows and then the link, there's nothing that's going to stop this. So it's going to potentially run infinitely, forever. So looking at how we might want to get out of this, so I'm going to hit go, and notice it ran Q4 and then 5, 3, 4, 5. So it actually doesn't get out of this. If we want to get out of this, what I could do is say load 6, enter, and then go, and that will run Q6. So that's a way to manually get out of that. But let's look at ways that we can program information to determine maybe an infinite number of loops, but the ability to get out of this. So what I'm going to do is say Q5, shift follow for link, and then I'm actually going to go to my command line, and I'm going to say 3, 0, 6, and hit enter. And notice on Q5 it says link 3 loop without any information and exit to Q6. So we're going to go to 2 enter, and then I'm going to hit go to run Q3, runs Q4, Q5, and again it's going to continue back running this 3Q sequence infinitely because I didn't tell it a number of times to loop. However, if I hit go, then it will fall out to Q6. Okay, so that's pretty basic. Now let's get rid of this. So Q5 shift follow enter to get rid of that link information. Now the last thing we're going to do is include a number of loops in that command. So I'm going to say Q3 shift follow, my apologies, I want to say Q5, so I just hit backspace twice, shift follow link, and I'll go to my command line. I'm going to say 3, 2, 6. And now we see in our sidebar it says link to Q3, loop twice, and exit to Q6. So I'm going to go to 2, hit go to run Q3. It's going to run 4. It's going to run 5. We're going to go back and we're going to loop through this another time. And then since that was the second time it looped through, it auto followed straight to Q6. So that's how you can take advantage of links, loops, and fallout or exit to. You can also look at your queue list and scroll over, if you need to the link column, and all of that information is in Q5's link column. So that can be, you can type and edit and change that information just with your external keyboard if you wish. So that's another way to go about this. Thanks for watching this Neo operational video for software version 3.8. Go to the Phillips Strand website at www.strandlighting.com for many more videos on Neo programming and operation.